Hi, my kitties. I hope that you guys are having an amazing day. It is so sunny outside today and feels amazing. I went on an hour-long walk/run. I ran for 20 minutes and walked for 40, and it just felt so good. So I hope that you guys had the opportunity to get outside in the sunshine as well. Today is Monday, April 27th, 2020. Shortcut date is 4/27/20. You guys had a math story 7.7, which we've done in class before, so I hope that it felt familiar and like a review for you. You had workbook pages 91 and 92 in math. You had that buddy text, you guys, that had my heart pounding when they couldn't find buddy. Constructed response 1 and ready questions. For the purpose of today's video, I'm going to be going over your words to know for the week, the skill for ELA, and we're going to do the constructed response, and then I'll read a little bit of Tales of Despero for you. Unfortunately, I was supposed to have the packets sent to me in the mail and they got lost, so please know that I'm doing my absolute best with the fact that I don't have these printed materials the same way that you do. So I am working through it. We're gonna get through it, but it just is a little bit difficult for me. I hope you guys understand that why I can't go over everything, just because rewriting it all would take me a lot of time. All right, let's go over the words first. I thought that the vocabulary for this buddy text, buddy ran away, was actually quite advanced, so I want to go over how to pronounce each word, and then I'm going to read the definition quickly for you. So repeat after me. This word is clutched. Everyone? Yes, clutched. Clutched means to keep a firm grasp or hold tightly, a firm grip. This word is echoed. Everyone? Yes, echoed. The repeating of a sound caused by the bouncing of sound waves from a surface. This word is gully. Everyone? Yes, gully. A deep cut or ditch in the land made by running water. This word, you guys, I had never heard of this word. I had to look it up. I was so confused. Have you seen the word reeds spelled like this? I hadn't. This word is reeds. Everyone? Yes, reeds. A tall grass with straight jointed stalks that grow in low, wet areas. So once I looked at the definition and then I saw the setting in which the story took place, it made a lot of sense to me, but I'd never heard of that word before seeing it on the vocabulary list. This word is scrambled. Everyone? Great. I'm going to read the two most popular definitions for this. So it says to move quickly using both hands and feet. The other one is to mix or throw together in a random way. Two more. This word is thatch. Everyone? Yes, thatch. Straw, palm leaves, or other dried plant material used as a roof covering. And the last word is valley. Everyone? Yes, valley, a long area of low land between a mountain or hills. The skill for this week is citing evidence. This is something that we've been working on since the beginning of the year. However, it is a very difficult, high-level skill to master. And it's one that you genuinely have to put 100% effort in every time you go to do it, even when you're an adult, because it does require you to go back to the specific text that you're working with and make sure that you're selecting the best kind. The skill itself is broken down into 4 pieces very nicely, the way that NHA laid it out for you. And if you do these 4 steps each time, you will become more confident in going back to the text and citing evidence each time. So let's go over what it is first. Citing evidence is finding proof in the pictures or text to prove your thinking. So when you're presented with a question in a constructed response, for example, and you come up with an answer to that question, you're thinking about what part of the story, either in the pictures or the text, did I read that makes me think this. The way that we do this, the how step, is broken up into 4 different pieces. First, we turn to the part of the story we are thinking or talking about. That's really important that we actually take the time to go back to the text, because how are you going to select a concrete piece of evidence if you don't go back to the text? Number 2 says, read the words and find evidence that proves your thinking. I just wrote EV here because I was going to run out of space. So you're going to find the evidence, actually take the time, read through that page, find the evidence that matches. Number 3 says, select by asking which piece or pieces of evidence best support my thinking. And finally, share your evidence by saying, in the text on page, it says. So this is very applicable to any skill in writing an academic response to text, aka constructed response, but it's also a really good skill when you're having conversation about something that you read. And we do that a lot in our class discourse, right? If I'm presenting a question to the class about something that we read in Reading Street, and you have an answer to that, you high-level readers and high-level critical thinkers often will say, this is the answer because on page so-and-so it said, which makes me think beep, bop, bop. So the question that you were presented with today for your response to text that you should have answered is, why can't Sam look for Buddy in the underbrush? So I went to my first step, which was turn to the page that they're talking about, and I found that that's on page 7. I then was reading the words to find the evidence that matches my thinking, and I saw that on that page, Sam directly asks Mr. Hall why he can't go in the underbrush or how they get through the underbrush. And he says that it's too thick, that they would have to be the same size as Buddy in order to move through it safely. Mr. Hall literally directly answers the question that's being presented to us as to why Sam can't go in the underbrush. And he basically states that point blank, right? The answer is like right there, like right in the text. So if you have the discipline to go back to the text and make sure that you do that, the answer was quite clear. I'm going to read for you what I wrote. Make sure that you have your constructed response in front of you. As always, it does not have to be completely the same. Just make sure that this is where you found the evidence. Your evidence for this answer should have come from page 7 because that is where they talk about the underbrush. Okay. So I said, Sam cannot look for Buddy in the underbrush because it would be harmful or dangerous for someone his size. On page 7, Sam asks Mr. Hall how to get through the underbrush, to which Mr. Hall replies, the brush is too thick, Sam. We'd have to be Buddy's size to move around safely in there. This proves the reason why Sam isn't able to enter into the underbrush. Restate an answer, cite directly from the text, wrap it up, beautiful blow with an explain. Capiche? I'm just realizing now that I started this video and I didn't give shout outs or announcements. I'm so sorry that I didn't do shout outs. I'll do it tomorrow. And announcements, please remember that tomorrow we have our first live hangout. I'm trying to get Dr. Weiss to come over. He might be working in the hospital tomorrow, he might not, but he's been doing a new hobby where he's been really working on DJing, which is really cool. And I thought that if he doesn't work tomorrow in the hospital, he could maybe come over and play some of our favorite songs. I was hoping to do like a round of self-love, say one thing that we love about ourselves and one other thing, I don't know, start brainstorming what you want that to be. Maybe read a little Tales of Despero or a different read aloud. And just, I don't know, just talk, maybe like do a couple rounds of Would You Rather, share some of experiences of how everything has been going at home. I just really want to connect with you, see your face, and make sure that you are okay. With that being said, go ahead and get comfy. I did have 4 read aloud books get delivered in the mail yesterday. So even though we are almost done with Tales of Despero, we have a bunch of smaller size non-chapter books to read, and then I was thinking that in June we could finish off with another chapter book. Awesome. Get comfy. We are on chapter 45. This is called Some Soup. Cook stirred the soup and then put the spoon down and held up the candle and looked over at Despero. What are you waiting for? She said. Go, go. There will never be an opportunity for a mouse to escape from my kitchen unharmed again. The smell of soup again wafted in Despereau's direction. He put his nose up in the air. His whiskers trembled. "Yes," said Cook. That soup you're smelling. The princess, not that you would know or care, is missing. Bless her good-hearted self. And times are terrible. And when times are terrible, soup is the answer. Don't it smell like the answer? Yes, said Despereau. He nodded. Cook turned away from him. She put the candle down and picked up her spoon and started to stir. Oh, she said, these are dark days. She shook her head. And I'm kidding myself. There ain't no point in making soup unless there are others to eat it. Soup needs another mouth to taste it, another heart to be warmed by it. She stopped stirring. She turned and looked at Despereau. Mouse, said Cook, would you like some soup? And then, without waiting for an answer, she took a saucer and spooned some soup into it and set it on the kitchen floor. Come closer, she said. I don't aim to hurt you, I promise. Despereau sniffed. The soup smelled wonderful, incredible. Keeping one eye on Cook, he stepped out from behind the spool of thread and crept closer. Go on, said Cook. Taste it. Despereau stepped out into the saucer. Soup covered his paws. He bent his head to the hot broth. He sipped. Oh, it was lovely. Garlic and chicken and watercress, the same soup that Cook had made the day the Queen died. How is it? Asked Cook anxiously. Wonderful, said Despereau. Too much garlic? Said Cook, wringing her hands. No, said Despereau, it's perfect. Cook smiled. See? There ain't a body, be it mouse or man, that ain't made better by a little soup. Despereau bent his head and sipped again, and Cook stood over him and smiling and saying, I don't need a thing then, is that what you're saying? It's just right? Despereau nodded. He drank the soup in big, noisy gulps, and when he stepped out of the saucer, his paws were damp and his whiskers were dripping and his stomach was full. Cook said to him, Not done already, are you? Surely you're not done. You must want more. I can't, said Despereau. I don't have time. I'm on my way to the dungeon to save the princess. Cook laughed. You, a mouse, are going to save the princess? Yes, said Despereau. I'm on a quest. Well, don't let me stand in your way. And so it was that Cook held open the door to the dungeon while Despereau rolled the spool of thread through it. Good luck, she said to him. Whew, good luck. You're gonna need it. She closed the door behind her and then leaned against it and shook her head. And if that ain't an indicator of what strange days these are, she said to herself, then I don't know what is. Me, Cook, feeding a mouse soup, then wishing him good luck in saving the princess? Oh my, strange days indeed. All right, my cuties, I hope you have a wonderful Monday. If you haven't gotten outside yet, try your best to do so, obviously safely and with the permission of your parents. But it is so gorgeous out and the fresh air feels amazing. I really, really look forward to seeing all your faces tomorrow. I know that some of you who have been trying to figure out Google Classroom have contacted Mr. Brooks. I hope that he has responded to you and assisted you in all the help that you need. If not, please keep emailing him and saying that Miss Reed sent you. Okay, love you. Have a wonderful afternoon.